The Divine Significance of California and Santa Barbara. By Taansen Fairmont Sumeru. Many people talk about 5D, higher dimensions, heaven, motherships, celestial worlds, and so on, as if living there is the ultimate goal and end purpose of our existence. Yet the knowers of ultimate reality whisper to us that even if we achieve the highest heaven and live there for millions of years, we will still be compelled to return to 3D if we haven't stabilized self-realization. This is an unavoidable law. Therefore, the ultimate purpose of human existence on Earth is not merely to have a pleasant environment and pleasant experiences. The ultimate purpose is to awaken to our true identity as the universal self, and to realize that enlightened state in which we are established irreversibly in infinite bliss eternally, regardless of what planet or vibratory environment we find ourselves in. But doesn't that mean that the outer environment then becomes meaningless and irrelevant? No. If that were the case, then why is the universe so gloriously beautiful and wondrously stunning? Some souls have come to this third density dimension just to wake up and then check out. That is fine. Wonderful. No problem. To each his own. But others of us have come to wake up, wake others up, and create heaven on earth. We're not just here to return to the celestial dimensions. We are here to infuse the physical dimension with celestial subtle matter and merge the higher with the lower. So if you are in this category, please continue watching, because that's what this video is about. Thus, for the builders of the dawn and the co-creators of heaven on earth, where geographically would be a good place to be based? There are good reasons for the natives of every tribe and every nation on earth to feel that theirs is the best place to be based. That is wonderful, and it is as it should be. Everyone should create heaven wherever they are. In this video, we have chosen California, and Santa Barbara in particular, as one of those ideal bases from which to begin and create. Let me show you why. California, the west coast of the United States. California has been America's Mecca for the New Age, the metaphysical, and the genuinely spiritual interests for many decades. Mount Shasta, its famous mountain in the north, was the chosen location for appearances by the ascended master, Lord Saint Germain, one of only a very few enlightened masters who turned his physical body into light long ago, and like Mahavatar Babaji in India, has materialized his body whenever and wherever he chooses. Others have said that Mount Shasta is the primary portal to the great 5D city of Telos and the inner earth worlds and has had an unusually large amount of UFO activity around it. Robert Detzler, the founder of spiritual response therapy, has said that all human beings can be classified as either first-round souls, similar to the children's grades in kindergarten through high school, and second-round souls, similar to the university levels and beyond. He said that in America, 90% of the second-round souls live on the West Coast, which comprises California, Oregon, and Washington. California is by far the most populous, the wealthiest, and the most diverse of the three, so it has the largest concentration of second-round souls in America. Dr. Timothy Leary, the former Harvard professor of psychology, who became famous for his psychedelic explorations in consciousness, said that the evolution of human civilization becomes higher and higher the further west one advances. As California is the last mainland territory in the Western Hemisphere, Dr. Leary said California represents the highest evolution, and therefore he moved from Harvard in Massachusetts to Beverly Hills, where he lived until he left the body in 1996. Avatar Adidas Samraj said, "I have traveled many places in the world, but for me, the areas of Northern California, with the incredible mountains and forests of Yosemite, the dramatic coastline of Big Sur, and the beautiful city of San Francisco, remain equal to the most glorious physical environments on the earth." The Enlightened Master Osho from India said, "California is the peak of Western culture." The Enlightened Master Sri Sri Ravi Shankar said, "California is the most spiritual state in America. The American headquarters for his Art of Living Foundation is in Santa Barbara." He told us once that the previous incarnations of Mahavatar Lord Krishna, whose name was Kapila, lived in what is now California. Krishna was an incarnation of God in India some 5,000 years ago, and according to Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, Krishna had previously incarnated as Kapila, also an enlightened incarnation of God. He said Kapila had his headquarters in California. This is interesting because the name California originated in the ancient Vedic Sanskrit, Kali, as K-A-L-I, which is Sanskrit for time, and Purna, which is Sanskrit for accomplished, completed. This would indicate that the meaning of Kalapurna is the completion of time, which echoes the other superlatives about California. His Holiness Maharishi Mahesh Yogi said similar things about California and made Los Angeles his first major base of operations when he started his world tours in 1959. He called San Francisco the first city of the Age of Enlightenment. When his cities of immortality were conceived in 1980 and he was consulted as to where on planet Earth the first one should be constructed, he said Northern California, the home of the redwood trees, because as the oldest living things on Earth, they are the closest representations of immortality. Her Holiness Mata Amritanandamayi, one of the most dazzling avatars on Earth right now, has her American headquarters in San Ramon, California. Many other saints, masters, and seers have stated superlatives as well about California. California is also the state of superlatives. It has the highest mountain peak in the continental USA, as well as the lowest elevation below sea level, Death Valley. It has the most beautiful scenery, the greatest diversity, the best climates, the newest and freshest man-made infrastructure, some of the greatest man-made wealth and opulence, and one of the highest average levels of collective spiritual consciousness. California is the birthplace of the health food movement, and so has the largest abundance and highest quality of healthy organic food in America. The largest by far number of prosperity program recipients under the St. Germain World Trust are in California, and there are countless other interesting superlatives too numerous to mention. For many of them, read the book The Aquarian Conspiracy by Marilyn Ferguson. San Francisco is one of the 5 ancient focuses of Lemuria that today are the 5 secret ray chakras of the state of California. These cities are San Juan Capistrano, Santa Barbara, San Luis Obispo, Monterey, and San Francisco. That quote is from The Masters and Their Retreats by Mark and Elizabeth Prophet, 2003, page 441. Those stars you see represent those 5 places, the southernmost being San Juan Capistrano. The second one is Santa Barbara. The third one is San Luis Obispo. The fourth one is Monterey. And the northernmost one is San Francisco. One of the high consciousness paradise areas is the famous Marin County, north of San Francisco. Arriving at the entrance to Marin County from San Francisco across the Golden Gate Bridge, one is greeted with the famous Rainbow Tunnel. World travelers say this symbolizes that Marin County is the land of the beautiful people. Marin County has a heavenly climate, spectacular scenery, big money man-made communities, and a higher than average spiritual awareness. Mount Tamalpais is the second highest mountain in the San Francisco Bay Area, and it is in the center of southern Marin County. From the top of Mount Tam, you can see the Pacific Ocean to the west, San Francisco to the south, the bay to the east, and the forested mountains to the north. Southern California in general is known to have some of the best climates in America, especially on the coast, with perpetual sunshine, verdant foliage, gardens, high mountains, ocean, and mild temperatures year-round. There is the San Diego area with its opulent Rancho Santa Fe, La Jolla, and Del Mar, where Dr. Deepak Chopra made his home, as well as Solana Beach just next to it. Paramahansa Yogananda has one of his main ashrams overlooking the ocean at Encinitas. Likewise, to be admired are Laguna Beach, Laguna Niguel, Dana Point, and Malibu. Equally appealing in different ways are the communities around Monterey, the palatial Pebble Beach, Carmel, and Cosmic Big Sur area, where the famous Esalen Institute is. An enlightened host of Maharishi in the 1960s once said that Big Sur is one of the 3 holiest places on the planet, with the other 2 being Delphi, Greece, and Uttarkashi, Valley of the Saints, India. The city of the angels, Los Angeles, was a paradise on earth 100 years ago before it became a big city. Now there are still sections of it which are paradise, such as Pacific Palisades, Beverly Hills, Bel Air, and Malibu. Pacific Palisades has a strong spiritual community with the Paramahansa Yogananda Self-Realization Fellowship Lake Shrine on Sunset Boulevard near the ocean. If you're ever there, be sure to dine at the Inn of the Seventh Ray, nearby in Malibu Canyon. Then to the northwest, about a 2-hour drive along the coast, is Santa Barbara, one of the most magnificent locations in the entire North American continent. It is a wealthy community of royalty. Here we will focus on Santa Barbara for the following reasons: the sheer power of the land, the high mountains close to the ocean, the perfect climate, the lush green forests and gardens everywhere, the royal affluence of the human civilization, and the strong presence of higher spiritual consciousness make it as close to the heavenly dimensions as any spot on Earth. People of high awakening, the knowers of reality, are the sources of heaven on Earth. If you are considering where to establish a home base or an additional center, why not choose a place that is already closer to heaven on Earth? It is easier to build the Age of Enlightenment from a place whose conditions are already closer to ideal. The area within the orange outline in the satellite photo shows the generally inhabitable area. The entire mountain range north and inland from Santa Barbara is all national forests for dozens of miles, so it will never get developed, populated by people, or polluted. With the high mountains to the north, which are national forest, and the ocean to the south, there is only a narrow area in between where people and traffic can live. This consists of only about 92,000 people. This means breathing the air here is sheer heaven. The air is filled with oxygen from the mountain forests on the one side, the ocean on the other, and the gardens in between. There is no polluting industry. The Santa Barbara area is saturated with beautiful architecture everywhere. Santa Barbara is just small enough to avoid the crowding big city feel of LA and the long drives, but big and rich enough to have all the best culture, services, supplies, and shopping. There is also a statistic that says that Santa Barbara has the most average temperatures year-round of any place in the Western Hemisphere other than the Isle of Capri. It hardly ever gets below 40 degrees or above 80 degrees Fahrenheit and spends most of its time in the 60s or 70s. It's close enough to LA to be accessible for special occasions, but being a 2-hour drive, it's far enough away to be isolated from traffic, congestion, and pollution. Even the weather is better than it is in LA, because the skies in Santa Barbara are usually more clear and the temperature is usually nicer. It's peaceful in Santa Barbara. In fact, amusingly enough, it is too peaceful for people who crave the action and dynamism of big cities. That's just fine for people who love peace and quiet. There are thousands of dolphins and whales jumping out of the water in the channel between Santa Barbara and Santa Cruz Island, so there is a high cetacean energy in the area. They call Santa Barbara the American Riviera, comparable to Monaco of Europe, and the French Riviera, but more spread out. This is the Four Seasons Biltmore Hotel Resort and Spa in the Montecito section of Santa Barbara. And this is the Rosewood Resort on Miramar Beach in Montecito. Spiritual royalty from all over the world live in Santa Barbara. There is a classic gong ceremony in Montecito. Ronald Reagan had his ranch near Santa Barbara while he was president of the United States. Singer Michael Jackson had his Neverland Ranch near Santa Barbara. Plenty of Hollywood stars and screenwriters have had their homes in Santa Barbara and its famous suburb, Montecito, a community of billionaires. A majority of the population in Santa Barbara are either independently wealthy or have incomes that depend on working from home, like writing or the arts. One statistic said that there were more nonprofit charitable organizations registered in Santa Barbara per capita than anywhere else in America. The famous spiritual teacher Jack Canfield is the co-author of the #1 best-selling book series Chicken Soup for the Soul. They have been translated into more than 43 languages and have sold more than 500 million, that's more than 500 million copies worldwide. Jack Canfield lives in the Hope Ranch area of Santa Barbara. Santa Barbara is where Ascended Masters University used to be in the 1970s, founded by seer Mark Prophet and divine messenger Elizabeth Clare Prophet. Likewise, Maharishi International University was founded in Santa Barbara before it moved to a much larger campus in Iowa in 1974. The first Avatar student of Harry Palmer, Virginia Downsboro, conducted Avatar courses 7 days a week in Santa Barbara at her mountaintop villa overlooking the ocean. The Vedanta Society's beautiful temple in Santa Barbara is on a hillside in Montecito with a view of the ocean and the islands across the bay. New York-born futurist Barbara Marx Hubbard made Santa Barbara her home and called it the first city of the 21st century. Love, lead singer for the Beach Boys, was with the Beatles and Maharishi and Donovan in India and practices transcendental meditation. He had his Love Foundation and living compound with meditation hall in Santa Barbara by the ocean on the Mesa for decades. The American national headquarters for the Art of Living Foundation is in Santa Barbara, which organizes the teaching gatherings around the Enlightened Masters Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. Sri Krishnamurti, known to the Theosophists as the world teacher, spent one season of every year in the Santa Barbara area in nearby Ojai when he was in the body. The Dalai Lama of Tibet has stated that Santa Barbara will be protected from earth changes like earthquakes and so on. He said the reason is that there are so many practitioners of meditation and so much higher consciousness in the Santa Barbara area. Santa Barbara is one of only 2 places in America where Tibetan Buddhism has a department in the university, at the University of California at Santa Barbara, UCSB. The Dalai Lama also said that Santa Barbara is the most spiritual place in the USA. He noted the very auspicious energies created by the setting, with the mountains behind, the ocean in front, and the protective Channel Islands out beyond. In addition, there are spiritual centers and communities in Santa Barbara related to every major master and world teacher, including Maharishi, Osho, Mata Amritanandamayi, Adida Samraj, Satya Sai Baba, Sri Chinmoy, and many others. This is because those who have lived in heavenly worlds between earth incarnations are naturally attracted to heavenly areas on the earth. Likewise, there are powerful anti-tyranny forces in the population, which, like 300 other cities in America, rejected the Bush so-called Patriot Act, rejected the Illuminati plans for the fluoridation of the drinking water, and so on. Beautiful and magnificent parks and wilderness areas abound in the area. One of these is the naturally preserved wilderness area on top of the cliffs in the Mesa district of Santa Barbara, with panoramic views overlooking the ocean and the islands, called the Douglas Wilcox Preserve. It is partly named after Mike Douglas, son of the movie star Kirk Douglas, who live in the Montecito section of Santa Barbara and who donated money to save the preserve. Surfers are constantly passing by in Santa Barbara on their way to the waves. Health food stores and restaurants are nearby all over the place, and there are 3 outdoor farmers markets each week where one can go to buy the most wonderful fresh organic produce and meet people. There are beautiful arts fairs on the marina every week, with all the most interesting arts on display by the ocean. Most of the homes have a balanced integration between indoor-outdoor living. If you have traveled much, surely you have been in many parts of the world where the air is infested with mosquitoes and other flying bugs. Not so in Santa Barbara. There are no mosquitoes and very few flying bugs. This is due to the low humidity. Yet, despite having low humidity, lots of sunshine, and very little rain or clouds, everything grows prolifically at Santa Barbara. The flora and fauna are abundant and diverse, creating natural gardens everywhere. The Casa de Maria on Ladera Lane has been a spiritual retreat center and educational institute high up in the Montecito Hills overlooking the ocean, where many magnificent meetings and ceremonies take place. Horseback riding on the beach and in the hills is a popular pastime. Lotus Land is a 37-acre private garden paradise in Montecito. It was created by Ganawalska, who lived from 1887 to 1984. She was a Polish opera singer and garden enthusiast who created the Lotus Land Botanical Gardens at her mansion in Montecito. Lotus Land can be toured daily by small groups of visitors via advanced reservations. Santa Barbara has one of the largest percentages of its population living in large, spacious, beautiful estates of any community in the world. And at least half of them are spread out with plenty of green space between them. Avoiding too much crowding and leaving plenty of green space between buildings is a basic recommendation of Maharishi Stapati Vedic architecture and landscaping. In the Dark Ages, mansions and wealthy people were often seen by the masses as evil, tyrannical, exploitive, mean, heartless, criminal, and spiritually unconscious. But now that age is ending. Powerful people are turning to the light, and enlightened people are becoming powerful. And then mansions can become ashrams of compassion, temples of light. Why is it necessary to violate the rights of others and the sanctity of the earth in order to be wealthy? It is not necessary. In fact, it is far more successful in this rising planetary frequency to use power in benevolent and nurturing ways. These examples of beautiful homes in Santa Barbara show the kind of environments where the innocent and the pure of heart can live and radiate happiness to all beings. Maharishi once said that the dawning golden age will be a time when power becomes peaceful and peace becomes powerful. These homes and environments in Santa Barbara are ideal for deep meditation and any kind of creative life-supporting work that is giving harmless and nourishing influences to society, solving the problems of mankind and making the world a better place. Back in the 1970s, the great genius Dr. Buckminster Fuller, who had 48 PhDs, said that if all the wealth in the world were evenly divided, every last man, woman, and child would be a multimillionaire. So this proved that there was plenty to go around. Mankind has simply needed a higher collective spiritual consciousness so that the wealth that is already here will be distributed and shared in a more humane and compassionate way. So, as mankind wakes up, everyone will realize there was never any need for poverty, scarcity, miserliness, suffering, war, conflict, crime, pollution, or problems. As the higher frequencies continue streaming in from the center of the galaxy and the great central sun, collective consciousness awakens to higher and higher levels. Then, automatically, all money problems are solved for everyone, because everyone awakens to the abundance of the universe, the joy of unconditional love, and the oneness of all life. The great teacher Plato once said, "Those who have known most of truth shall come to birth as philosophers, as lovers of beauty, or as fervent musicians." So it's not surprising that Santa Barbara has attracted a high concentration of lovers of beauty. Osho said, "Aesthetics are my ethics." As we awaken to our true nature, increasingly we realize that we can be anything, know anything, have anything, and create anything. So, why not create magnificence? I wish to thank you for spending this time with me and considering a few of these words and pictures about Santa Barbara. May you be blessed for eternity beyond your wildest dreams.